All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody. Just hit a button. I hit the wrong one, but that sounds not too bad. I get crank that up. Welcome on in, NorCal Sports Network. A light day in sports, but the what is it? The Army Black? What the heck they called now? Army Black what, Lou?
Army Navy game?
Yeah, the Army. There used to be the cadets. They're called the Army Black Hawks or something like that. Or
I'm not even sure. Sloppy game. Big
31-13.
Yeah.
I don't know. What the heck is it called? I just forgot.
Dan, I'm surprised we're doing a show tonight. I figured you'd be interested in the Emeralds Cup without the Warriors.
Oh, the Emeralds Cup with the I see the Bucks beat the Hawks, and then we've got Houston against OKC right now.
Yeah,
not too big of a deal for me.
I don't think it's much of a deal. I mean, what's sort of funny is wrestling. The main event was tonight, and then you had a good college game, Gonzaga and UConn, and you'll see how big NBA at this tournament's really working when when it comes out on Monday, you know, the how much viewing was, because they had some stiff competition.
Yeah. It's the Army Black Knights.
Remember, the Black Knights.
They used to be the cadets, and it was the Navy midshipmen.
Yep.
So anyway, we're going to get right into this, guys. Before we do, let us thank our sponsor, as always, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin. Have any legal matters or needs or questions, give them a call. 415-613-9483. Chapman Law Group. We thank them. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I don't know if I like that one or maybe I like this one because it says thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. That has a little bit more of a appreciation. I don't think people say thank you enough today, you know? I think it's very important to say thank you. Teach your kids to say thank you. You know, a lot of people, you know, we just went through Halloween, a month and a half ago?
Yes, sir.
You know, some of the little kids and parents were good. They were right in there and said, hey, what do you say? Thank you. I mean, some of these kids put their bag out, nothing, you know, like say thank you.
It's Ryan's generation that sort of forgot how to be manners and to be courteous. I mean, you know, you go on a bus, nobody gets up for an older lady anymore. No one's courteous.
Oh, that's why, you know,
that's why that's why girls are so pissed off. There's no gentleman anymore.
Yeah. Whenever I'm on a bus and I have a seat and the bus all of a sudden fills up, or, you know, I'm going to the airport and, you know, you got the little tram or train, I always get up and give it to a lady. You know, come on. Where's people's, what do they call that?
Mannerisms, professionalisms, courtesy.
Yeah, there's another word, but yeah. Hey guys, we're going to get into this Corbin Burns deal. Is it a done deal or not? Obviously it's not done yet. So, but matter of fact speaking, is it a done deal? Is he coming to the Giants? We'll get into that. Let me touch Jake's question. My thoughts on the Warriors trade. I think it's a great move. We nailed it here on NorCal Sports Network. Lou, myself, Ryan, we talked about this for the last 3+ weeks. DeAnthony Melton went down around the 18th of November, somewhere around there, and had surgery. And right after that, we said, got to go get Schroeder. Warriors got to get on the phone. Go get Schroeder. It's only going to cost you 2 or 3 second-round picks and Melton. And, you know, you're giving up Melton, and Melton is hurt. So you're really not giving up anything. You're gaining a player. And no, he won't be Curry's backup. I think he'll start. Him and Curry together are going to be much better. Yeah, I think it opens the floor. It allows Schroeder to handle the ball. Curry doesn't have to take all the duties of handling the ball and getting tired. But we'll get into that later, guys. Let's get into the topic tonight. Corbin Burns, is he going to be a Giant? Thanks, Kyle. Army Blackhawks. Kyle may join us here a little bit later when we do the contest. Guys, in fact, before I announce the contest tonight, I got to make sure that we're set up to actually get it done. Otherwise, it gets too crazy with the trying to figure out whose number is who. Tyler Burbeck, come on, Giants, just ink the Corbin Burns. Dan, can we trade for Arias, sign Tanner Scott, sign Burns, and Haesung Kim? Your thoughts? Well, you can do all those. I don't know if the Giants will do it. I'm not sure if the Giants will do much. I'm concerned that they're going to stop at Burns if they get Burns and call it a day. The Oakland A's can continue to make moves, though. They got Springs from Tampa Bay, a lefty. He's a good pitcher. Had him on my fantasy team for a short bit last year at the end of the season. But I think that Burns, I don't know what the holdup is. To me, don't be surprised on this deal if the Giants end up doing some type of deferral. Dan, you got the wrong hat on. I'm wearing a Warriors hat. I got a Giants hat right here. You want a Giants hat since we're talking Giants ball? How's that? Spring training. Look at that.
Just don't let it mess up your hair, okay, Dan, when you keep
switching. You know what? The hair is I tell you, I was late earlier. We were 2 minutes late because my hair I had to comb it. And
of course.
I couldn't get it straight. So I do think Burns eventually ends up with the Giants, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something along the lines. Check this out. Burns. How about Burns 8 years, 265, maybe 27. Let's say it goes up to 275. How about this? I don't think the Giants want to sign him for 8 years. Maybe they'll go 7. And it goes 40 times 7, 2, let's say 275-ish, 7 years, and a signing bonus of, I don't know, $50 million, and maybe a little bit of it deferred, like $50 million deferred. That way, it's really like 225 and a $50 million bonus. No, 50. Yeah. 50 bonus brings it down to like 175 for the AAV. Something like that. Don't be surprised if deferrals or if the Giants are trying to get into some of it deferred, just to keep them having to pay so much right now. But what else we got in the chat here? I'm seeing the chat fly. Yeah, Vladdy supposedly rejected. You guys got to make sure you watch our videos. I see a lot of videos, people comment. I know George watches our videos. Check out the videos because some of your questions I'm asking or answered in today's that you guys are asking in the 15-minute video. I do not like Paul Goldschmidt coming to the Giants. Okay? Paul Goldschmidt to the Giants is not a good situation. Do you want to know why Paul Goldschmidt is not a fit? I will show you here if you want to see something. Let me pull this up for you guys here. I did a little playing around, guys, with the lineup today in a video. Now, this is the K rate for 2024. Now, some of you guys, I know I am not sold. I haven't even sold myself on Tyler Fitzgerald being the leadoff guy. I don't know if he bats first, second, or down at ninth. I'm not sure where the best place, because this team has too many guys that strike out. Here's my theory in putting Tyler Fitzgerald in the leadoff spot, guys. He's already been told he's pretty much going to be the second baseman. Buster Posey said it. Thanks, Jake. You watching the videos? Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm thinking on this, guys. Fitzgerald, he has to cut his strikeout rates down, or he may not even be in the lineup. Lou, I like him at putting him on first, because if he gets on, he could steal bases. He can get over to second base with no out. Jung-Hoo Lee can either drive him in with the base hit, you're 1-0, or you have runners on, you move him over to third, Jung-Hoo Lee hits it over to the right side, gets him over to third base, 1 out. Willie Adames comes up. And I got Carlos Santana, older guy with the Minnesota Twins, doesn't hit for great average, but he doesn't strike out a lot, 16.7%. In his career, Santana, got it right here, Carlos Santana career strikeout rate is 16.5. Pretty consistent. So Carlos Santana, I think, would be the fill-in first baseman until Bryce Eldridge comes along. Why don't I want Paul Goldschmidt? Because Goldschmidt strikes out like everybody else in this lineup to over 25% of the time. Look at the K rates on there. If you take Santana out and put a Goldschmidt in, you would be like 31, 8, 25, 25, 26, 26, 24, 22, 35. So Wilmer Flores is going to have to maybe be a DH. He only strikes out 13.6. This team is built bad. Okay. It's a poorly constructed roster. This is my issue with the Giants. They've got to find guys, and I'm going to harp on this. You know, I'm one of the only guys that harps on this. I know Cody over at Even Your Dynasty gets it, and we get it here, but guys, you can't have a lineup full of guys that can't make contact. So I think the Giants just need to find somebody that makes contact, but they'll probably go with Goldschmidt. Why? Because they're infatuated with name recognition. I mean, Carlos Santana's got a good name. He's been around a long time. In fact, if you guys want to see something that's interesting, let me show you the, I will actually show you, hold on here. Another guy from the Dominican, a lot of Dominican ball players. Okay. Lou, what's your thoughts on this Corbin Burns?
Well, one of the things that you and me have spoken off the air is this is the 5th anniversary of Steven Strasburg's contract, which was the largest ever for a pitcher, which was 7 years, $245 million. Obviously the same agent. So obviously I think they're trying to beat that, and they probably want 8 years. The Giants probably are going to say, hey, we'll do 7, but I think it's going to be maybe like more than 245 because you want to beat it. So, maybe 250. But I do like what you're saying about the signing bonus. Now you're talking 35 million plus. You got to remember, guys, this was the number 2 free agent on the market. There are a lot of people that are willing to get Burns, but it comes down to the money. I'm just worried about one thing, that if we don't get him,
what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are we going to do? Because it seems like for the last 3 weeks, I mean, beside the chat saying, "Oh, we saw him at the toll booth. Oh, we saw him at the airport." We have, people out there. You guys are worse than the Democrats with the press, with your reliable sources. It's just come to the point now where we've sort of put all our eggs in one basket. I just hope if we don't get him, we have a plan B. And we got Adamas, which is great. But again, if you've been listening to this, we need 4 parts to be better. The one thing, Dan, I think something's got to happen soon. And I hope, being the 14th, the only thing that I've noticed is there are a lot of small moves, but a lot of the big guys still have not gone. So I'm just hoping it's just, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, all that stuff. And, one of my big things too is it is Posey's first time, and, we got to be patient, but it's also a lot of money. The Giants did just, with Adamas, that was the biggest contract they've ever done. And, the Giants have tried, and I think it's a lot with Farhan, when they say, "Oh, we had Ohtani for $700 million," we didn't have to sign him. You know what I mean? And it's a big difference when you get this high of money to actually dot the I's and cross the T's. So that's what I'm hoping for. And of course, we need a little bit more. Dan, the one thing I did want to point out, which makes you and what I really like compared to a lot of other people, your lineup. First of all, you bought in Carlos Santana, great guitarist.
Yes.
But you bought in Carlos Santana. But I noticed where you put Chapman, which is probably the honest opinion, to bat him 7th. Because on that lineup, most of the time with the Giants, we're going to be batting him like 3rd or 4th. With the lineup you constructed, that's probably where he belongs.
Well, this is, and I put Yaz in there.
You're being honest. I know, Yaz.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I put Yaz in there simply because he's on the team still, and I don't know of anybody else. Now, if you listen to my video earlier today, I really think ideally they should be putting Matos in there, and maybe I should change this up. Bora, I was doing a little playing around today, trying to figure out a lineup for the Giants if they sign, getting a first baseman. I went with Carlos. This is their K rates here.
Mm-hmm.
And Santana, I want to show something to you guys. Well, I'll show you this after this, why I went with Santana, because I'm hearing Goldschmidt, and Goldschmidt's another 25 plus K rate for last year. I think he's digressing, and his bat speed's getting slower and slower. So I wanted a guy that has a consistent, more contact. And Santana batted 3rd or 4th last year for Minnesota, hit 23 homers. And but that's a righty lefty lineup, which is more balanced. The reason I wasn't sure where to put Fitzgerald, Bora, I wasn't sure to put him at the bottom of the order, 1st or 2nd or 9th. Went ahead and threw him in at 1st because I thought, what happens if he gets on base, cuts his K rate down, maybe down to in the low 20s, comes more of a guy that starts to work on contact, gets on base, steals 2nd. He could easily score with a base hit with Lee, from Lee, or get to 3rd base with a ground ball to the right side, and then Adamas should be able to bring him home, hopefully. That's the idea of getting up early, but I don't know. What do you think about this lineup?
I like the lineup. I like if Tyler Fitzgerald's going to be your starting second baseman, and it looks like it's going to be, I like him at the leadoff position if he can be somewhat productive as he was last year, because I don't think he's going to be able to replicate the season he had last year. Teams are going to figure him out. He's going to come back down to earth a little bit. That K rate does need to get better. 31.6 is very high. If he can just up his walk rate a little bit and just focus on being a contact hitter, if he can get on base. I like Jung-Hoo Lee in the second position. I've said this many times. I don't think he's a great leadoff hitter because he doesn't know how to steal bases. He's fast, but he just doesn't know how to read the pitcher for some reason. He's never stolen bases in the KBO. He didn't steal bases last year. Tyler Fitzgerald is someone that Posey has said should be a 30 steal guy. Posey's said it in one of his recent interviews. Fitzgerald has the speed. I think he's in the top percentage in sprint speed in all of baseball. So if Tyler Fitzgerald can get on base, steal second. And then all Jung-Hoo Lee has to do is hit a ground ball to the right side, and that gets Fitzgerald on at third base with less than 2 outs for Willy Adames, who excels with runners in scoring position. That's one of the main reasons I love the Willy Adames signing. The main flaw, I think, I mean, this Giants team has a lot of flaws, but one of the main flaws last season was that they weren't able to hit with runners in scoring position. It just wasn't possible. And Willy Adames fixes that issue a little bit. He is proven to hit in the clutch. He's a clutch hitter. He hits with runners in scoring position. And that top 3 lineup right there is really good. And then if you get Carlos Santana to pair with Patrick Bailey being your 2 switch hitters, that's valuable. Because I mean, having 2 switch hitters in a lineup is pretty valuable. You don't have to necessarily go right, left. You can go right. You can go left. You're not going to let the pitcher dictate who the matchup is. And I do agree with you. You need someone who has a lower strikeout rate. Because I mean, look at this. Fitzgerald's over at 30%. Lee's good. Adames is decently high at 25. Ramos is at 26. Yaz is at 26. Chapman's at 24. Bailey's at 22. I don't know what's going to happen with the DH position. If it's Luciano, he needs to cut that down. I mean, you need guys on this team that just don't strike out, because you gotta be able to put the ball in play. And I'll say one more thing about this. I think Posey has put this out in one of his interviews, but I think their hitting philosophy as a whole is going to change. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of, these past few years, our hitting philosophy has kind of been, if you get your pitch, swing as hard as you can, and just try to get the exit velocity. That's what it said. It's the hard hit, the exit velocity, the launch angle. And I think they're kind of coming back to the classic kind of hitting structure of get your pitch, but also when you have 2 strikes, you got to protect. You got to be able to hit with 2 strikes, and you got to be able to hit with runners in scoring position. You got to be able to situationally hit. If there's a runner on third base, you got to be able to hit a fly ball to the outfield to get him in. If there's a runner on second base with nobody out, you got to be able to hit the ball to the right side to get him over to third base. You just got to be able to situationally hit. And having guys who don't strike out as much, having guys who can put the bat on the ball and have a little more bat control, it helps that. It helps your team kind of lock in, and it helps your team focus and be able to drive in some runs. You're muted, I think, Dan.
Talking about Corbin Burnes tonight. Check this out. Just got this from Robert, and our friend Larry Kruger just tweeted this out. Alex tweeted something out. Don't know if this is true or not, because I don't know how to find this, but it's already deleted. But why did Corbin Burnes just post this on his story and then delete it immediately after?
I don't know. That may be real. That might be fake. Who knows?
We don't know. We're not suggesting it's real. We're not suggesting it's fake. We don't know. But interesting. If anybody else saw that, I did. It's fake. Giants report. Dan says it's fake. Okay. That's why we don't know. There's a lot of fake news going on. Fake news. A lot of fake news going on out there with this free agency. So who knows what's going on? I saw something on someone else in Corbin Burnes. They said something about some restaurant that's in Toronto that he was posted that on too. It was like some, can't remember the name of the actual restaurant, but guys, we got over 500 people watching here right now. Almost 200 of you on YouTube. Another 300 or so over on Twitter. If you're over on Twitter, come on over to YouTube and like and subscribe. We're going to try to attempt. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off or not. Let me see. Do we have the ability to do a giveaway tonight with the chat? Let me see.
I could probably do it. Yeah. Can
you do it?
What do I do? Just if people type the giveaway, I just write it down.
Just put a name and number, and then
I think I can do that. Yeah.
All right. Just quickly all right. Here's what we're going to do, guys. You're to enter the giveaway for, let me reach down here. We've got several of these signed balls. I just picked that one up there. All right. Here's one that's not addressed to someone else. All right. Casey Schmitt signed baseballs. See his number 10 right there. Brand new Major League Baseballs. There's the Major League Baseball emblem. There's the Major League Rob Manfred Jr. So what you want to do to enter for a chance to win this baseball, we've already had 2 winners. Just type in the chat. You got to first like the video. Okay, you got to like the show here. Make sure you like it, make a comment, and put giveaway. If you don't want to write giveaway, just giveaway. Or you want to put giveaway or Casey Schmitt?
Just giveaway. I think giveaway.
All right, we got a giveaway. Kyle Simons right there. Jace Graham Primo. Let me see if I can help you. You know what? Maybe I can. Here comes.
I can just scroll back up and down and figure it out.
Starts at 9:13. I think that's the first one.
Okay.
Do we see any other ones? Someone put giveaway in the very beginning before the show.
I'll figure it out. You go back to talking. I'll do this.
All right. Bora's got that. He's going to get this, and we will give this ball away, guys, at the top of the hour. How's that? But you got to be in the chat. You got to stay here and wait for it. Okay. So anyway, this is the situation with this Giants club, guys. You tell us in the chat, what is it that you want to see the Giants do? We know most of us all want Corbin Burnes. Bora, before you came on, I was mentioning that maybe something's happening with the money. Maybe the Giants might have to do a little bit of a deferral or something if the price is getting too high. And maybe there's some hedging on that because the 8th year could be a holdup. The amount could be a holdup.
It's interesting because we know Max Fried got the 8 years, and then I think I overheard Ned talking when Ned was on, and he's like, if Max Fried got 8 years, then Corbin Burnes should get 8 years too, and that makes sense. I think they're roughly around the same age. Yes. Burnes is definitely better. If I'm Burnes, and I think Boris is his client, right? Or his
yes,
agent?
He is.
Yes. If I'm Boris, I'm thinking like, okay, Max Fried got 8. Why can't we get 8? And I'm pushing for 8. It was a little interesting because we heard all these rumblings and all this news from whether it was fake sources or not. Some reporters were talking about the idea of Corbin Burnes, and it's just, a couple of days ago there was so much chatter and so much news. In the past couple of days, it's just been dead silent. There's been nothing on Corbin Burnes, so it kind of I don't know what that means, but to me, it kind of means like either things are getting ironed out, like the money, it's the money, it's the contract details, things are getting ironed out and it's very close, or the Giants just are no longer in on him. I think it's those two possibilities. I think the more likely possibility is that the contract details are getting ironed out, because I don't know if Posey would go to that lengths to seem like he's going to sign Burnes, and all these rumors and sources are saying that the Giants are heavily into Burnes, and then just to back out at the last second because the money was too big.
Right. Well,
I don't know about that.
It doesn't make sense, that part, because you knew that the rumors were out that that after Fried signed that it was really close deal to being done with the Giants, right? And they were the heavy favorites according to Ken Rosenthal and all these different things that were coming out. Now, you already knew Max Fried got 218, so you know that you're up in the 220s minimum, okay, for Burnes. Probably closer to 230. Now, are you going to squabble over $20-30 million over 7-8 years? What's that? 30, if it's, let's say they were at 230, but now we're talking 260. So you're looking 30 million, 8 years. What is that? Like just under 4 million a year? Come on, you're gonna squabble over that. Look what you wasted on. You just gave Yaz 9.2. You've given Tom Murphy $4 million when you had Joey Bart. a lot of wasted money. Lou, you've been around a long time. You've watched this club get cheap. What's your take on all this, Mr. Positive? You're muted.
First of all, I'm sort of concerned. I don't know if Boris saw the news. I sent the text back to you tonight, Dan, because it's day 2, but there's a Giants fan who locked his grandmother in a cage until they signed Burns. So I'm a little concerned about her. I'm hoping, they can sign by Christmas so the grandma can actually celebrate the holidays, but I thought it was pretty good. Dan has it, so if we want to put it up, it's pretty funny where a guy actually put his grandmother in a cage.
Oh, I did see that. I did see that. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
So I don't know why it's taking so long. The one thing is if we don't get him, I just hope we have a plan B and we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. But, I think it comes back. I was telling Dan in the chat board before he came on, this is the 5th anniversary of when Steven Strasburg signed the largest contract ever for a pitcher at the time. And I think, they want to beat that. And I think it's one of those things. I personally think Dan is too low on the money. I think, if he wants 8 years, I think it's going to be like
275, 280.
Yeah, 275 for 8 years.
Yeah, it may be going up there. It may be, and I think that is the holdup. I think the Giants thought they probably had him around 225 to 240 range. And I think when Fried signed, and then, you got to remember, didn't Boris have Fried too? Did he have Fried? Or was that somebody else?
Everybody. You got to remember what Snell signed too, per year. So, he realized he's the number 2 free agent. Remember one thing, guys, Burns and his agent, they can wait. It's, they're just waiting until the right time. It's not like, anything's going on. It's not like last year with Snell where spring training started. So
look at Don in Indiana. He says he thinks Burns will get 320 to 350.
Oof, that's a lot. Remember, it's a pitcher. It's not a player that plays every day.
He might get close to 300. He could. And to me,
that's too much for a pitcher.
That's too much. I'm walking.
Because now you're talking, 8, 9. I mean, anything over 8 years is ridiculous anyway.
If you're talking close to $300 million for 8 years for Burns, I would rather sign Jack Flaherty and Sean Manaea and Bueller for that.
Yeah.
There you go. Price. I agree. And I talked about it today in the video, guys. I talked about Bueller and Flaherty and Sasaki. Sasaki's, that's going to be tough because it's not based on money. It's based on trying to convince him. And I think he's going to be a Dodger. I think there's some other areas the Giants could go to improve too. If you want to shore up the bullpen, you could go after a Tanner Scott for some of that money, and he could be a spot starter as well. Jeff Hoffman of the Phillies is available. There's some different options. Yeah, giveaway for a chance to win a Casey Schmitt autograph ball. Must be in the chat to win when winner is picked. There you go. All right, guys. We'll do that somewhere between 8:45 and 9:15 when we end the show. So you're going to want to be present. Yeah, we'll cut off the giveaway here at about 8:45, and then anytime between then and 9:15, we will. Tyler Burbeck, he keeps adding giveaway. I've seen it like 3 times.
I only have him one time. Don't worry.
Okay, Tyler.
Well,
we got you once, man.
Remember last night, Dan? We had what was it? Was it Phil? And then there was another Phil, and then there was a Phil.
No, it was
2.0.
There was
or was it Dan? I can't remember.
No,
it was 4 times.
Can't remember which name it was.
Well, 300 divided by 8 is 37.5. I think I'm pretty sure I just did that math right. That to me, that's too much for a guy who is an ace. But Dan, I'm sure you pointed this out. I'm pretty sure I've seen you put this out. It's like his strikeout rate has gone down ever since the 21 season, I think.
Yes, I talked about that in one of the Corbin Burns videos, it's down to about 8.4. It was in the 13 range. Now, I don't know. That's not always a bad thing because it could be that he's just decided to more or less go deeper into the games and throw to contact with his sinker and get guys to, ground out, kind of a la Logan Webb type. So, MM Forever, can we take a minute to bask in the Dodgers' greatness? What do you want us to do? A moment of silence here, MM Forever?
We did that the day after, and that's plenty.
All right, everybody. A moment of silence in honor of the Dodgers' one championship since 1988. May they rest in peace. Amen. Okay, there we go. We gave you a moment of silence for the Dodgers. All right. And we got another comment in here by Aaron Loss, one of our members. This is a good comment. Do the Giants trade Casey since he's blocked, or do they keep him for infield depth in case Fitz does not work out? What about if Chapman gets hurt? I think they trade him if they get the right offer, if they get something of need. Let's say the Cubs, who gave up Paredes and maybe don't have a third baseman, and they want a really rock solid third baseman, and they're not so much concerned about getting value for value back for Cody Bellinger, but they want lower cost because they may want to keep Tucker. Let's say they say, you know what? We value a great glove third baseman and a guy that is showing potential to hit. And they say, we'll give you Bellinger for Schmitt and some other minor leaguer, a Wisenhunt or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do that deal, right?
I think the Giants? You would too. I think you would too. Let me ask you that is this, and I'll ask the chat too. The chat can type in on this. Who do you think out of, let's say, Casey Schmitt, Marco Luciano, and Luis Matos, those three players, who has the most trade value? Lou, I'll go to you first.
None.
What were the names? Schmitt, Matos, and who?
Luciano.
Okay.
None. Absolutely none.
That's the correct answer.
None of them are really proven themselves. They've proven if you're a Giants fan, but I'm thinking of the other teams. I don't think any of them have.
Dan, what do you think?
If to me, the biggest trade value of those three probably is Matos, because he's still 23. Schmidt's going to be 26, and Matos has proven he can hit in the big leagues without striking out all the time. And Luciano has a 35% K rate right now. He's got a little bit of a bad back that's flares here and up there. Schmitt I think, is the sleeper of those three, though, personally, because I think Schmidt's value to a team, if Matt Chapman is valuable to a team with 6 years, $151 million at age 32, what is Casey Schmidt's value at minimum, pay at what, 7-something, under $800,000 a year for his contract? He's much younger. He's 6 years younger. He doesn't have any hip issues like Chapman dealt with. He's as good of a glove, if you watch him, as Chapman. And I think his bat can play if given the opportunity. If you match Chapman and Schmitt up in the minor leagues, statistically, Casey's every bit as good as Chapman was offensively. So I don't quite understand why the Giants have never given him a chance to actually just play. I mean, they weren't knocking doors down the last few years. he was the Barney Nugent award winner in the 23 spring training, meaning he had the best camp. And then they sent him down. He was hot, comes up, gets very hot the first 2 weeks, and then goes into a struggle like any pretty much rookie does. I mean, look at the Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong. They played him all year. Guy hit what did Pete Crow Armstrong hit last year, guys?
I don't think he was great at all.
Yeah, but he was probably going to get better going forward because he got the playing time. What was Matt Williams the first 3 years? You guys know what Matt Williams hit his first 3 years with 700 at bats? He hit,
I think, 189 or 2. He couldn't hit the curveball.
Yeah, he was hitting 200. Then in his fourth year, it just clicked. It just clicked. I'm going to tell you what Pete Crow Armstrong hit last year. You're going to be shocked. Oh, he actually improved his average. Wow. In September, he was hitting, when I was watching some games, he was hitting 200. But all of a sudden, he crept it up to 237. So he must have had can you see that? He hit 237 on the year.
He would have been one of our
super fast. 27 stolen bases. Is there a thing on here that shows by the month what these guys do, Bora?
If you go on MLB.com and go to the stats on MLB, you can type that. You can show that.
MLB.com?
Yeah.
All right. Let me check that out because I could have swore he was hitting in the around 200 because I looked and I go, wow, this guy still got a job.
Let me answer my own question first though.
Okay.
I do agree that it's Matos just right now because he's younger than Schmitt, and I think he has more upside than Luciano just based on tools, and he's already proven to himself and to the league that he doesn't strike out at a high rate in the MLB.
Like 13.
Exactly. The problem that I have with Matos is that he's good at a lot of things, but he's not great at anything. Right. I mean, he's great at not striking out, but he doesn't have extreme power. He doesn't have an extreme arm. He doesn't have an extreme glove. He doesn't have extreme speed. He has average to above average of all those things without anything being elite. And I don't know if he can get to an elite level. Like I think Matos' ceiling might be a third outfielder. I don't think he's going to be an all-star. I just don't see it personally. Now Luciano has the tools. He has the power. He has the bat speed. He has the ability to go the opposite way. There's a reason why he's been the Giants' #1 prospect for 5, 6, 7 years, however long it was. I mean, he hasn't shown it in the big leagues, so you can't just give him a pass for that. But I mean, he has the tools at least to be able to put it together. Now, I don't know if he's going to put it together, and I think it's fair to say he probably won't put it together based on what we've seen. And then you go to Schmitt, who's elite defensively, has an elite glove, has an elite arm, has elite range at third base. Offensively, he's not the strikeout guy that he has been in the big leagues. I think he
about 22%.
Yeah, I mean in the minors it's much lower. If you look at his minor league stats, and I know minor league stats isn't everything. There's a reason why it's the minor leagues, but you can kind of get an idea of who a hitter is, based on what they do in the minor leagues. And in the minor leagues, he's not just a bum. He's a guy who gets on base. He provides some power. He actually hits for a pretty high average. I mean, he hit 250 last year in scattered at bats.
252 and 107 plate appearances.
Yeah, I mean it's not nothing. It's not just Schmitt had like a 760 OPS, I think, last year.
He did 760 OPS.
Yeah, so I mean it's scattered and it's not the end all be all, but I mean I think he's proven to people that he can at least produce in the big leagues. And I think if Schmitt gets a shot somewhere to be the starting third baseman, like before the Kyle Tucker trade, I know Dan, you and I were talking about Schmitt would be a great option for the Astros because of that short porch, They also play in a dome, and they need a third baseman because I don't think they're going to sign Bregman.
I don't think they're going with Bregman either. I think they like the guy they got in Paredes because Paredes, every one of his big league home runs has been to left field. He's never hit one anywhere else. And so those Crawford boxes, I think they picked him up because
he might hit 40 home runs.
He's a guy that hits balls that are lofty and they would be just routine outs in most ballparks. But he would have had, I think I read something today where he would have had at least 7 more home runs this year if he played in Houston. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I couldn't find his stats month by month.
Pete Crow Armstrong?
I couldn't figure out the month, but while I was looking, I did find on Fangraphs here. Let's just take a look at Casey's numbers here because you can do a deeper dive on this. You see where he hit 252 last year. On base is a little low. You want to see a guy at least around 315 to 325.
He needs to walk.
Yeah, he needs to walk more. He did have a positive WAR. He didn't play that many games. Look, he only played 9 games at third base, 19 at second, 10 at short. I mean, that's horrible playing time for a guy that's your number 2 draft pick. Now, if you take a look at his numbers here, in 23, he had a 4.7 base on balls percentage, but he increased that to 9.3. That's improvement. His K rate was 23.5 in 23. It's 20.9. That's almost 3 percentage point drop. Oh, that's AAA. I'm sorry. 22.1. Exactly. So he did improve there. His K rate in 22 was over 31% at AAA, but then he brought that down to 20.3. And so he's in the low 20s is where he's at. Batting
that walk rate, that walk rate needs to increase.
You see his on base percentage at AAA was 343. Oh, I looked at the wrong thing. I saw SFG, but that's AAA. 9.3% at AAA, only 3.5% walk rate in the big leagues last year. So that is an area that definitely needs to improve.
Hey guys, you got to remember he hasn't even played a whole season yet. When you look at it, 90 and 40, that's 130 games. You know, give the guy a little time. It's a big difference. And
he's only getting those 130 games are scattered over like 300 games because he played in 90 games in the Giants in 23, and he played 40. So 130 games that he played, but it's over the course of 2 seasons with the Giants. That's playing what? 324?
Correct.
So 324, he's in a third of the games. You can't get any rhythm doing that.
Yeah, no rhythm, and mentally it's got to be excruciating. And he brought that up too.
It's very frustrating for any ball player, especially when you're a high draft pick. A guy that's drafted, 7th, 8th round later on, even 5th round and up, you don't expect guys like that to always get the chances.
That's Brett Wisely.
Yeah.
You got to play your first 2-3 draft picks. I mean, if you're not going to let them play, then what are you saying? I mean, I'm just looking at his numbers here when it comes to he had 17 home runs in 22 in a high A ball. And then in 23, he hit a total of 9 between AAA and the majors. Last year, he hit 19 between AAA and the majors. Look at his at-bats last year. Think about this, guys. He had 399 at-bats. if you take his plate appearances, he had 448. And he hit 19 home runs. That's a much higher home run ratio than any other Giant on the team. If I took Ramos's and Chapman's, who hit Chapman hit 27, and how many did Ramos end up with last year? Like 24?
20, yeah, something like that.
But more at bats. So to me, I don't know why you don't look at that. It's not like he's hitting 208.
If I'm the Giants, well, I'm kind of in a win-win position with Fitzgerald and Schmitt, and this is what I do. This is obviously, I don't think this is what they're doing, but for second, you have an open position at second base right now. I would let Casey Schmitt and Tyler Fitzgerald battle it out for the starting second baseman position in camp. Just let those two guys battle it out, and the winner gets the second baseman job. If Tyler Fitzgerald wins the job, then he's the second baseman and Casey Schmidt's the backup infielder. If Casey Schmitt wins the job, Casey Schmitt is the second baseman and Tyler Fitzgerald is your utility guy. It's a win-win situation. Tyler Fitzgerald proved enough last year to be given a starting spot this year, whether it's at second base, whether it's in left field. You've said this a million times, Dan, and it's dead on. He could be your Chris Taylor. Tyler Fitzgerald could be your Chris Taylor. He can play third base. He can play shortstop. He can play second base. He can play first base. He can play left field, center field, and right field. He can play 7 positions out of the 9 positions on the field. He's not going to provide Gold Glove defense at any of them, but he'll provide average to above average. He'll provide spot starts there. I mean, if Yaz goes down with an injury for a couple days, he can fill in. If Lee needs a rest day, he can fill in at center. If Chapman needs a rest day, he can play third for a day. If Adames gets an injury, he can play short. I mean, there's so many different situations you could use Tyler Fitzgerald at different positions. Obviously I don't think they're going to do this, but I mean, it's valuable to have a guy who's a utility guy. I mean, it's really valuable, especially with speed. I mean, and Casey Schmitt I think he's proven himself enough to be given some run in spring training. I'm not saying to be given some run in the big leagues next year, but in spring training to see if he has anything.
Absolutely. And look, I'm not advocating that he should be given a starting job. I'm just saying he should be given a chance. I think, Bora, you put it perfectly. Give him the opportunity to win a job. And if Fitzgerald wins it, hey, you give it to Fitzgerald, and that's the way it goes. That's just sports. And Casey's a great backup. My biggest fear that the Giants are going to do with Casey is they send him down to AAA and they keep Wisely up because he's got a left-handed bat.
My God.
And they make Wisely the backup infielder, the guy that can play second, short, and third in a pinch. I hope that's not the case. I think if Schmitt just keep him on the roster. He's pretty much at this stage of the career at 26. Just to throw him down to AAA because he has options isn't really doing him a great service. He just needs to play at this. He's proven he could play at this level. So I think, Wisely got engaged today. Oh, congrats to Brett Wisely.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
As the late, great Burgess Meredith said, women weaken legs. Get rid of him right now. He got engaged. It's over. Drop his ass. DFA.
Lou, you're cold.
Women weaken legs.
No, Giants report is spot on too. I mean, competition brings the best out of people.
Absolutely.
Iron sharpens iron. It's
Bingo.
It's true. I mean, if guys are competitive, if guys are competitive and they're competing against each other, they're going to get better because they want that spot. If Fitzgerald's just given the spot, then he's not necessarily going to be. He's not going to want to. He's not going to have fuel to kind of flame it.
Yep. And we got the line of the night already given out. There it is. The winner of the line of the night, NorCal Sports Network, best women. Let Lou say it. He says it better.
Women weaken legs. That
Listen
was
to
the
that.
greatest line in the first Rocky when Burgess Meredith, when he goes, well, I sort of like her. Well, then have her train you. Remember, women weaken legs. Yeah, but I really
dog.
like her.
Hey, Doc. You recommend I recommend I do. Yo, Adrian.
And just remember one thing. That was the best movie of the year, not Star Wars. Thank you very much.
There we go. All right. We see the giveaways coming on in.
We have 25 so far.
Only 25?
Mm-hmm.
You sure you got them all?
I got them all, yeah.
You guys better hurry and get that giveaway. You got about 3-4 minutes before we close it off. Okay. In fact, let's put the timer on. Can I find a timer?
And then, Dan, Bora brings up a good analogy, because then you have two guys that can fill in, because me with all our dead wood that I don't really like. I mean, I'd rather get rid of some of these clowns that are still on the Giants.
What are you talking about, dead wood? Wait a minute, Lou. You're talking dead wood. Look at these guys. They put the bat on the ball. Come on. 31%, 25, 26, 26, 24, 22, 35 K rate. And the 16's not, we don't even have the guy that's 16. He's not even on our team.
You could highlight that.
We haven't been able to get him off the wiffle ball court these days. I mean, he's working on his swing in Baltimore. It's just because the reason why I like that is if you look at our pitching, which I'm still really worried about, I mean, hopefully nothing.
You should be.
Even say something happens to Webb, knock on wood, it doesn't. Our pitching staff, that Robert said was the greatest of all time last year, is so below average. We still don't know about the Jordan Hicks thing. We know he's not a starter. Our bullpen, I don't think, is as good as we make it out to be. But when you have two guys that can fill in, then we can have 14 guys in the pen, which, I've been trying to say, and I've been saying it for 3 months. From March 27th until May 1st, the Giants have the hardest schedule in baseball. And I'm worried that we're going to come out and we're going to play well, but we might get buried. Our schedule is brutal, and, we need to work on it now. But when you have two guys that I love, Bora, have both guys compete, because first of all, neither one probably deserves a starting. They have to prove it. And, if one has a great thing, great spring training, and they get it, then I'm happy. I just don't want someone, because we have nobody else, I'll give it to him.
Exactly.
You got to remember, Tyler last year was incredible. He came out where literally, I think he had 16 or 17 homers in the first, it seemed like 6 weeks. But then again, the league gets to know you. They know to pitch you differently. And then he came back to earth. Now you got to remember, they have a whole summer. That's what coaches do, guys. They look at tape and say, my God, this guy's so good. What worked and what didn't work, and then all of a sudden, reality hits. So with the Giants not getting a first baseman or a second baseman, I just don't want late night Lamont, who I don't think is the same player. I don't want someone unless they deserve to start. Like Yaz doesn't deserve to start. We have better guys in the outfield that deserve it. And that's my main concern, because we need to come out on fire, or as Boris said when we first talked about this, just need to stay within shouting distance. Mm-hmm. Because if we get buried, it's going to be very long. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to thank everybody who's recently subscribed to the channel. Channel is really growing in subs. We really do appreciate that. We are currently at the 3730. When we get to 4,000, which should be a couple weeks away, we'll be giving some more San Francisco Giants tickets away to a game next season. So we've already purchased the tickets. We have them. So make sure if you're watching over on X, we have over 360 people watching on X right now. We have 568 in the house all combined. But you can't sub on X to the channel. These subs are all on YouTube. So just come on over and sub over here if you want a shot at some tickets. Maybe you don't want any Giants tickets, so you just would rather stay over on X. That's fine too. But we are going to be giving away some tickets. We have more signed baseballs to give away. And right now, how many we have for tonight's contest, Bora?
We have exactly 30. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's 30.
All right. We got 30. We'll close it off there. And Jared Gentry just added one, his name.
Okay.
31, Jared, as we speak. So if you want to get into the contest, the chance to earn a signed baseball from Casey Schmitt. You never know. Casey could get traded someday and go on to be a perennial all-star Gold Glover. He could turn into a Chapman himself, possibly. And then that baseball becomes worth even more for you. So hang on to it, whoever wins. Guys, we have a lot coming up, too. We'll be doing quite a bit of stuff. Oh, we got a super chat here from, I got to pull that up, from Shardal. Shardal, thanks for the super chat. Sorry you can't make it tomorrow night. You will not be able to join the post-game show. Shardal is going to be closing. He's going to be closing all our Warriors post-game shows with a sign. He's the former Shardal. If you have seen Shardal anywhere, you've seen him everywhere, because Shardal is the man.
Shardal, I know.
Do you know who the Rainbow Man is, Bora? Have you ever seen him?
No, who's that?
The guy that used to be at every sporting event with this crazy clown hair, and he wears the sign John 3:16.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is our Shardal. He's in every chat across the Bay Area. So Shardal, that's Shardal right there. He wears and he is going to come on NorCal Sports Network after every Warriors postgame and hold up the John 3:16 sign.
And his first attempt, he can't make it already.
But it is what it is. So,
and Chardot, it's set so big, after the huge news today about the Warriors. It's going to be a big game tomorrow. The place is going to be rocking. We need you.
So if you guys go back to the 80s, go Google Rainbow Man John 3:16, and the guy literally is at every major sporting event. Monday Night Football, World Series, Super Bowl, NBA Finals. The guy's up there. How does he? It's like he's just all over the place. Anyway,
Dan, he was the version of the Florida Marlin guy at all the baseball games. Before the Florida Marlin guy.
Oh man, Chardal. You gotta love Chardal, man. If you're a YouTube Bay Area YouTube content creator, or you watch shows, you know who Chardal is. He's great. All right. So I think this Giants team, Lou and Bora, concerns me going forward, because of right now the team is not ready to compete. And if you think they are just because they got Willie Adames, you did lose Blake Snell. You haven't replaced him yet. When you get Corbin Burns, it's a little bit of an upgrade over Blake Snell, and he should give you more innings, some more, hopefully, stability. And how close is it? 850 to Burns becoming a Giant? Who knows? Maybe he'll sign before we end this show. But that's how it happened with Snell that one night. It just boom. There was no warning. It's just Blake Snell is a Dodger. So my concern is the pitching. Think about their pitching depth, guys. You've got Webb, Ray, Harrison, Birdsong.
Off an injury, Ray.
Okay. There's 4 guys, right? Did I name just 4? Webb,
Yes.
Harrison, Ray, Birdsong, and a 5th is Hicks. That's not a good rotation. That's not a good rotation. 4 or 5 guys. You really in that group, you have one proven reliable starter in Logan Webb. That's it. Webb,
It's actually below average.
Webb, Harrison, Ray, Birdsong, and Hicks. Who else is eligible to start? Roop. That's 6. Who else is Roop?
Beck.
Black.
Win.
That's 9. But who of those is?
I mean, those are likely camp bodies who will either be in AAA or long relief.
Yeah, Bivens. Come on, this is. I'd rather have the A's starting rotation right now. They got Severino and Springs that just, and they got that other kid, Jay something. Can't remember.
JP Sears,
yeah.
And they got the best, one of the best closers in baseball.
Oh, Mason Miller is lights out. And Jordan Hicks, please. Do we have to always do what players want? I'm so tired of this. Jordan Hicks signed as a starter, so we're going to make him a starter. We saw what he did. We just saw Thursday night. Debo wants the ball. And then what do the 49ers do? They cater their whole dang game plan to Debo. I mean, this is the stuff that drives me crazy. Who's running the ship? Is it the players or is it the front office and coaches? I mean,
that's the NBA you're talking about, but we're talking about baseball, right, Dan?
Well, yeah, even in the NFL. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, everybody, Kyle is the greatest, but he calls the game plan for Debo. You can't see that Debo's washed in your practices? Come on. So now we're going to bring Jordan Hicks back as a starter when the guy has never started until last year. Oh, he did 1 year, but he never got into the 5th inning, but 1 game. So what does he do? He starts off well and he proves he can get past the 5th inning, and then he runs out of gas, as predicted here on NorCal Sports Network. Not only did we say he'd run out of gas, we said he'd get hurt. And it's exactly what happened. As far as questions go, guys, can Giants sign Hai-Sung Kim, trade for Bellinger, sign Tanner Scott, Sasaki Flaherty, and trade for Andy Diaz? Of course they could, Clayton. I don't think they will. I think they could go after Hai-Sung Kim. My prediction is Hai-Sung Kim becomes a Seattle Mariner. Book that. Because I don't think the Giants are thinking. I think the Giants think they got their guy in Fitzgerald. The problem with the Giants, in my opinion, is they don't have depth. And the guys they think they have, they go with them rather than creating more competition, which is good for your team. And it also creates more trade opportunities when you have too much.
All right, Dan, I'm done with the.
All right, we ready to go? How many numbers? Let's get this thing. Email it over to. Let me put it in the private chat, because if you send it to NorCal, I have to. What do you call it? Forward it.
All right.
And Dan, while you're doing that, I just wanted to tell you: are you excited for the 2025?
Forget
season?
that. I messed it up.
I have it. I have your email.
Oh, okay. Just add Gmail to it. Yeah, there you go. Am I excited? What for, Lou?
All right, Tom Murphy coming back. You got to be excited about that.
Oh. Wait, hold on. Where's our Dodger fan? Let's do a moment of silence for Tom Murphy.
Blake Sable, William Flores off an injury.
Oh, no, Giant Balco. He just came in with a giveaway, and Anthony Merkovich.
Valera. I mean, the Giants, I mean, you bring up a great point. Our depth, pitching, and players are these are guys that are very, very below average. They need to get Burns, and they need another bat. I'm sorry, but these guys just don't give me faith. They don't get me excited. I mean, I
agree. I 100% agree.
Flores, William Flores, yeah.
We got 3 more guys that entered. Let's close it off.
3. Who was the last guy?
The last guy was
Balco?
Giants. Hold on. The chat's flying in here.
Giant Balco.
See, gross. Wait. Giveaway. Giant Balco. Yeah.
Okay, I got him. Yeah. All right, that's it.
All right, send it on over. We'll email it. We'll do the random number generator, and at 9:00 promptly, we will spin for the winner of the signed baseball. How many numbers we got on it?
38.
38.
Nice. Good turnout.
38.
I just sent it to you.
All right.
I saw a chat earlier. I forget who typed it in. And Lou, I'll ask you this. What do you think of Luis Arias? Because the Padres are looking to get rid of some payroll, and the Giants I think they could use Arias. I mean, I think any team in the big leagues could use an Arias. He doesn't strike out, he puts the bat on the ball. He's a professional hitter. He would be a guy that he could be your leadoff hitter if you wanted. He could hit ninth. He could be your double leadoff hitter. He just gets on base. He knows how to hit, and he knows how to get on base. I think that would be a valuable asset to have on your team.
I love him. I liked him. In fact, me and Dan almost got in fisticuffs over the internet when he got traded for I think it was their number 7th draft pick. 7th overall prospect. Like, why didn't the Giants do this? And the Padres got him, if I remember right, it was May 1st. It wasn't like how they do the Farhan where they wait until the trade deadline. He only has 1 more year in his contract, so he will be a free agent. We looked at him, but I would love him because he is something since we had the back guy. What was it? Donovan Solano.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's also with the Padres, who batted 8th for them. I like both of them just because the Giants last year, when runners in scoring position.
There you guys are. There's your numbers, everybody.
Yeah. You might as well have turned off the TV because you knew they weren't going to come through. Those guys make contact. And the great thing is they actually do contact where it's perfect for our ballpark. You know how we say, hey, we need players to come that can hit the gaps. They hit it down the lines. I mean, you got to remember, he almost won 3 batting titles on 3 different teams in 3 different years. To me, that's something that the Giants have really lacked. And what do you think we'd have to give up for him when he only has 1 year left and he's going to be a free agent?
I don't think you would have to give up too much.
Arias,
yeah,
not much. Not much. All right, guys, we're ready to go. We've reached that time. We got 38 names. You saw your names. I'm thinking number 24 wins tonight for the Say Hey Kid. What do you think, guys? Just take a guess. Who's your number?
Larry Bird, 33.
33. Who's your guy, Bora?
I'm going to take 14.
All right, we got 14, 33, and 24. I'm going 24 as the winner. Here we go, everybody. Who's going to win an autographed baseball by Casey Schmitt? There it is. Here we go. We're going to pick. Spin, and here we go. It's going to be 35.
So close again.
35. Who's our winner? Let's pull it up and see. number 35. That's one of the late entries, isn't it, Bora?
It might be.
That's one of our late entries. Who do we got? Scroll 35, JR 500. You're our lucky winner. Are you in the house, JR? You got to be in the house. Let's hear. JR, you got to respond, or we're going to spin. We're going to have to spin again in a minute.
How long does he get?
20 more seconds.
It's 9:03. Once the clock hits 9:04, we need
19,
to know.
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got another chance at winning. He quit like Campbell.
How is Campbell still on the team? Give me it. What a joke. Way to
All
go, Coach.
We're going for another winner. Wasn't in the house. Remove choice. So we just eliminate him. He's not here. Should we go down to 37?
No, just do it again. And if
again.
35 hits, we'll have to do it again.
All right,
number
here we
35
go.
hitting twice is almost slim and none.
I would
Here
bet
we
that it
go.
doesn't.
Who's it going to be?
We can't see
Oh,
it.
gosh. Oh, wait. I forgot to put it up. Let me spin it again. I forgot to spin it. I forgot to put the thing up. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. We didn't get to that. Doesn't. I won't.
No one knows the numbers, so.
Well, let me pull it down, then I'll put it back up so it doesn't. Okay. Hold on. Dan screwed up.
You and your technology.
Terrible. I forgot to. Did I tell you what number? I'll tell you off the air.
Mr. IT.
All right, we got 1 through 38. Let me put this back up here. So it's because the last one it was showing. All right, share screen. All these buttons. It's like 5 buttons you got to hit. All right, can you guys see the screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not looking at it. Here we go. Oh, this is exciting. Who is it? 27, I think. Oh! 27. Who's our winner? Does anybody? Let's hope he's in here. Otherwise, we'll keep spinning. Let me pull the screen up. We'll look at who our number 27 is. One moment. There we go. 27. Eddie K. He's in here all the time. Are you in the house, Eddie? Eddie KS24. Come on, Eddie. You got about 30 seconds to say, I'm here.
We're all looking at the chat.
It's message. I'm the real Eddie. How do we know that? No. No, he's not the real Eddie. Dominican Dandy's number. Come on, Eddie. We don't want to spin again. This is crazy. We got 608 people watching right now. There he is.
Eddie.
Yep. All right, Eddie. Congratulations. You're the winner of a Casey Schmitt signed baseball. There it is right there. We'll put this in the mail on Monday. There you go.
And Dan, what I recommend when you get an autographed ball, you can get a plastic case from Amazon. It costs $3.99. It clips on. It closes easy. It never gets stained. I always recommend that.
Well, the winner can do that.
Yeah.
The winner
Eddie,
can
good
spend an
job.
extra
You deserve it.
$3.99.
You've been on many times. Congrats.
Yeah. All right, Eddie. All you got to do is email me your address, NorCalSportsNetwork@gmail.com. Just send an email with your name and address, and we'll get that ball shipped off to you Monday. And there we go. We'll have another winner probably tomorrow night, Sunday night, I would think. We'll do a short show, guys.
Warriors tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We got Warriors tomorrow. So if you want to watch Warriors post game and maybe get a baseball, maybe we'll give away a baseball tomorrow night. But guys, it's been great having you. We'll be back tomorrow night. Check out videos. We put one out today. In fact, I may put another one out even here in the next half hour or so. Maybe we'll put out should we put the Roki one out tonight?
We might. We'll see that.
We might. Okay.
And did you just want to say one last word about the Warriors trade, Dan? I know you said.
We mentioned it earlier, but
okay.
Yeah. Warriors make a big trade today, getting Dennis Schroeder. We predicted it here. We called for it. It happened. I think Mike Dunleavy is getting all his takes from NorCal Sports Network. Yeah, right.
He's watching the show.
Yeah, right. He needs us. Right.
Anthony, the score is 2-2 Sharks in the third.
There we go. All right. Hey, guys, NorCal Sports Network. We got you covered. Niners, Warriors, Giants. We'll even be doing some A's baseball, guys. They're part of NorCal, and I like what the A's are doing. They were in on Max Fried. They got money to spend. They have to spend. So,
yeah.
And they're making trades. So good for the, whatever you call them, the A's. I guess that's it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate you being part of NorCal Sports. Would love it if you subscribed. Hit the like button on the channel. It really helps on this show. For Bora, for Lou, we will see you guys tomorrow night. What time's the Warrior game before we get out of here? What time are they playing?
I believe it's here. Let me take a look. It's 5 or it's on NBA TV. 5 or 5:30.
NBA Warriors tomorrow, Sunday.
5:30
at 5:30. About 8 o'clock tomorrow night, guys. Somewhere right around 8 o'clock, right after the Warriors game, maybe a few minutes before. We'll catch you then. And we will be here. Any breaking news that happens with the Giants, Corbin Burns signs, we'll be here. If he signs at 12:04 after the clock strikes midnight tonight, I'll be here. Maybe not Lou, but we'll get up and do a show. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate you guys. Have a great Sunday. Take care.
2-2.